Kim.
And I'm Rob.
This is going to be story time. This is going to be where we've been, since 2019.
Yeah.
It's been a really rough few years for us. So we have not, we've uploaded 2 videos before this, but that was just to try and get our feet back in the waters. I have notes because there was a lot. So I guess we're just going to tell you where we've been. This all starts May 1st of 2019. Rob's mom called us. Well, no, not true. Mom's doctor's medical assistant called us and told us that they thought Mom had a stroke and that they were going to... Mom wasn't living with us at the time, so we had no idea what was going on. So they called an ambulance, and we needed to meet the ambulance at the hospital immediately. We got there. They evaluated her right away. Within a half an hour of her being there, they got her in for a CT scan. And the doctor came in and sat down on his chair, and I looked at him, I said, "Is it a stroke?" And he said, "I only wish it was a stroke." I will never forget the look on his face when he said that. I only wish it was a stroke. They found 3 tumors in her head. She had one right here, about the size of like a shooter marble. She had one very deep in her brain, near some structures that they couldn't operate on that one. And then on the right side of her brain, right here, she had the biggest one, and it was the size of, they said then it was between the size of a baseball and a really large orange. Yeah, so that was scary.
Really scary. I went numb from then. As soon as that was told, I went numb. Automatic.
And I went into fight mode. I went into instant, I gotta do what I gotta do mode. And that pretty much, well, to be honest, that mode just pretty much ended during the holidays of this past year. It's been that long. So they transported her from our local hospital to their sister hospital in Olympia. And on May 3rd, they did surgery to remove the baseball-sized tumor. And surgery was 10 and a half hours long?
Sounds about right.
Like 10 hours, 45 minutes. It was somewhere around there. It was long.
I feel like forever.
Yeah. And the doctor came out and talked to us after surgery and told us that they couldn't get it all. They could not get clean margins. If they got clean margins, it would seriously impact her quality of life. As it was, her quantity of life was going to be very short. They told us at max she was going to have 3 months. There was no way there was no way. They expected this tumor to start growing back almost immediately after removing it. After her surgery, she spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
2 weeks.
And during that time, we were at the hospital every single day. There was so much to do. We had to convince her that she needed to fill out her DNR, her do not resuscitate. She needed to do her living will, all of her medical, her financial, all of her power of attorneys, everything that needed to be done had to be done. And she was in denial. She was not gonna face up to the fact that she was gonna die. She refused to admit it. It finally took her doctor coming in and having a very, I'd say it was a very strict conversation. I mean, like, he really came in and told her how it was.
Yeah.
I mean, before he'd kind of beaten around the bush and kind of, she just had brain surgery, let's be delicate with her feelings. And I had ended up having a conversation with him in the hall and said, this isn't going to work. You're not going to be able to be delicate with her like this. You're just going to have to go in there, tell her straight how it is. Rob is still numb. I don't think Rob is processing any of this. And I don't blame you. I mean,
Dealt with a little bit, but when she signed the paperwork for, I guess, how do I say it right way? To where if she got to the point to where she couldn't make her own decisions, and then I was the one that made the decisions for her. So that was a big responsibility, just
yeah, medical power.
Yeah.
You were given medical power of attorney.
But every morning when I woke up, I kept waiting. I don't know why, waiting on my phone to ring.
That she died.
Yeah, or she was going downhill, I guess you would put it.
We did get a phone call, not from a nurse, not from anybody else, from the doctor at the hospital, saying, you need to get your stuff together, you need to get here now.
But they didn't.
We know you're 30 minutes away, but you need to get here as fast as you can because they didn't think she was going to make it.
Yeah, that's the wrong thing to tell me to be there.
And it's hilarious because by the time we got there, she was just fine.
Yeah. At the time, it was me, the wife, and we had AJ, and we had Victoria at the house.
And she was on they had to bump her up to 100% oxygen.
Yeah.
Her oxygen levels were in the 50s. I mean, they thought she was excuse me, they thought she was gone.
Yeah. But that day, I'm thankful there were no cops around because I didn't play around.
No, you drove 90 to the hospital.
Oh, at least in my big car.
Well, I mean,
It was my mother.
between here and the hospital, it's 70 miles an hour. But still, 90 would have been enough.
Right.
But I think any cop would have probably understood had we said, the doctor called and said, my mom is not going to make it, and we are on our way to the hospital.
Yeah. We probably got a warning, but still.
Yeah. So, she was fine by the time we got there. She ended up spending 2 weeks in the hospital.
You don't wanna answer the phone. This lady who called you is nuts. You don't wanna think.
She's in the hospital.
She spent 2 weeks in the hospital. Like I said, during that time, she filled out all of her paperwork. The hardest part was convincing her that she was in no condition to go back to living at her friend Sam's where she had been living. She had to go to a nursing home to recuperate. Oh, that was a battle.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a battle. She did not want to go to a nursing home. But she did. She ended up spending 3 weeks in a nursing home. Worst thing that ever could have happened.
Yeah. That was another place we was at every day. At least twice, I think.
At least twice a day, every day. So she spent 3 weeks in the nursing home. That was not a good experience.
No.
For the first week, they didn't give her any of her blood pressure medications.
No.
Second week, they gave her the wrong blood pressure medications. Third week, they gave her blood pressure medications 1 time a day. At the end of that, her blood pressure was so out of control. She ended back readmitted to the hospital.
So they could get her blood pressure back under control.
And then she actually came home to our home. Not for very long though. And then she moved back to Sam's.
Yeah.
So she was living at Sam's. She was living her best life,
Enjoying herself.
enjoying herself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, don't forget about her radiation time frame too. Is it in there?
No, I don't have that in there. Because she only had 14 radiation treatments. She had all of her radiation treatments while she was in the nursing home.
Yeah.
So she moved back to Sam's. So all of that was in May. The first part of June. The end of June, she moved back to Sam's. She was out at Sam's for 4th of July. So she moved back to Sam's at the end of June.
Yeah.
And then the first of every month, we would go pick her up and take her to run her errands, and she'd take us out for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then comes January 7th, 2020. Sam called us. Mom could not stand. Mom could not walk, not even with her walker. She could not talk. Sam could not understand what she was saying. Apparently she had been declining for a while, and
Not knowing.
Neither Mom nor Sam had bothered to let us know. So we went to Sam's and we picked her up. Well, we took her to our local hospital. They
Transferred her up.
transferred her back to Olympia.
Yeah.
They admitted her for
Pneumonia.
severe pneumonia. Oh, you know what I forgot?
What?
Way back when they did her brain surgery, I totally forgot to tell you that It was actually small cell lung cancer that
Yeah.
had metastasized to her brain, and they found a
Tumor.
huge tumor in her
Right.
right lung.
Yeah. Trying to picture it too.
It was
X-ray.
it was
It was good size.
bigger than a softball
Yeah.
in her right lung.
Or bad
so
size, whichever.
so small cell lung cancer, highly aggressive. So you'll also notice that I said January 7th.
What did I say? No.
So she was told
Look,
she
look,
had
look.
3 months. She lived 8.
Okay, fine. I'll pet you.
Um,
Whatever. So,
she was admitted to the hospital for severe pneumonia
yeah.
on the 7th of January. On the 8th of January, we had a conference with the doctor.
Telling us that the
Mom was basically incoherent. She was beyond making any decisions for herself.
no, not yet. No, not yet. The doctor met with us and told us that the medications and stuff it wasn't going to work because as soon as she was taken off of it, it wasn't going to work basically. So
That was on the 7th.
right, that's when she decided she wasn't.
Nope, she stayed on all of the medications that day.
So that day,
She stayed on her IV, she stayed on the antibiotics, and then
the doctor talked
she
to
was
her.
she was fine on the 7th. That was
Doctor
her.
talked to her. Yeah, doctor
that
talked
was-
to her.
The 7th was like her last
Yeah,
hurrah.
the doc.
She was coherent. She understood what was going on with her.
And she's the one that decided to go off medications and such, because if it was not working, why stay on it? What?
And then January the 8th, the doctor had a conference with just Rob and I and said that this is the end. It was time for Mom to come home on hospice. She went to comfort care on the 7th. On the 8th, you and I, stopped all life-saving measures except the oxygen. On the 9th, she came home
Yep,
on hospice.
yep. Bed, oxygen was here.
Yeah, we had all that delivered
Yep.
from the medical supply company. On the 9th, we had her AA friends come over.
Yeah, that same night she came over, had her last cigarette after they had left. She had her last cigarette, wanted to go to bed.
We helped her to bed, and she went into a coma on the night of the 9th.
Yeah, because 9th.
And
Yeah.
then the next,
Then the 10th hospice came over, said that even if they had bumped up the oxygen,
it wouldn't do any
it
good.
wouldn't do any
So we
good,
took
so-
her off her oxygen,
so it was decided to take her off of it.
and everything from there is a huge blur for me.
Oh, no.
I mean,
That's
I had to give her medication every 4 hours to assist in her breathing and to keep her
I know we didn't sleep.
so she wasn't hurting.
We didn't sleep once the coma hit. We didn't sleep.
No, we did not. So about 6 o'clock on January 11th, Rob and I both went in and each held a hand and told her that we were going to be fine and that it was okay for her to go. She didn't need to suffer anymore. And then at 7:22, she died.
Yeah.
We were sitting at the table when she took her last breath.
Yeah.
So that was our 2019, beginning of our 2020. And then, well, everybody had 2020. COVID. We lost friends and family both to COVID in 2020. We personally had a lot of family drama that happened in 2020. We're not even going to get into that because we prefer drama free.
Yep.
So we'll just skip 2020 and the year of COVID, and we'll go to 2021, which was also a year of COVID. And we'll go to May 6th. May 6th of 2021, Rob was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
But the best part was it was stage 1. They had caught it early enough. So
It was stage 1. He had no symptoms. It was very, very early. So treatment options for him were wide open. We ended up going with the two
pill.
shots of Lupron.
Yeah, shots. Yeah, I was thinking there was a pill for some stupid reason. Yeah,
No
two
pills.
shots.
2 shots of Lupron 3 months apart, which
Yeah.
would kill 99% of the cancer. And then any of the mutated cancer cells, he did 27 rounds of radiation. And he's cancer free. His last radiation appointment was on October the 27th. That was when he rang out.
Now, on that last day of radiation, evidently I had fallen asleep on the table.
Yeah, he started radiation middle of September. But we're jumping ahead of ourselves because there is so much more between May and September.
Yeah, let's. Yeah.
So May 6th, Rob was diagnosed with prostate cancer. 3 days later, Rob's dad was diagnosed with ALS. Very, very fast progressing ALS. By the time he was actually diagnosed, he couldn't really communicate over the phone anymore.
No, got to the point where he couldn't.
So he was declining so fast. Rob had never really met his dad. He and his dad hadn't seen each other since Rob was 2. So
3.
Oh,
3.
Sorry, 3. Rob did not remember his dad. They had only been talking on the phone again for
6 years.
5 or 6 years since they had reconnected. Thanks to family, to whom we are forever grateful. Rob and I made an emergency trip to Maine on June 4th. And we spent a week
Yeah,
with Dad and Louise. And I'm forever grateful for that week.
So am I. I mean, grateful.
Forever grateful.
I mean, found out that I'm like basically the mini me of him, splitting image.
You are so your dad.
Yeah, basically the splitting image.
So your dad. We also got to meet Rob's mom's mom and sister, which is good because we also lost Nana in 2021.
Well, don't forget, I finally got to meet again my cousin Perlette.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. And we got to meet cousin Tammy.
Oh yeah, because there's a side note with that one. I guess just
First cousin.
first cousin, which she didn't know she had cousin, a real blood cousin.
So we came home from our trip on June 12th. We got a phone call on June 14th that Dad had gone on hospice.
Yeah.
And gone on oxygen. We got a call on June 15th that
He had passed away.
Dad had died peacefully in his sleep. I have never heard of ALS progressing that fast.
Well,
He started showing signs New Year's Eve.
And he didn't know what it was.
And they didn't know what it was. So for New Year's Eve 2020, so January 1st, 2021 to June 15th, 6.5 months, and he was gone.
Oh. Never mind. I was mentally confused.
That is how fast. I think, honestly, Dad was just holding on to be able to meet you.
Oh, I think so. That last few days that we were there, he would got
that
to
was
the point
that
to
was
where
his
he couldn't
that
feed
was his
himself.
biggest dream. That was your biggest dream, was for
Yeah.
you two to be able to meet. And I think once that happened, that he was ready. He was ready to go. So
And that's the biggest and best memory I'll ever have in my lifetime.
yeah,
Getting to see him.
that
walking
was
walking into his house and surprising him because he didn't know.
Yep,
They kept it a secret.
They kept it a secret. That he did not know we were coming. So that was rough. That hit all of us hard.
Yeah.
One really amazing thing that's come out of it, though, is we have the most amazing relationship with Louise.
Yeah, that would be his lifelong partner.
So all that happened. We're still processing Dad's death. I mean, I don't think that's anything you're ever going to get over, or that we're ever going to get over. It's hard. And then mid-September, like I said, Rob started his radiation. He finished October 27th. Then, he's been recovering from the effects of his radiation.
Still. But I guess they're talking at least probably, a year or so, maybe?
Yeah, until you're not
recovering.
until you're not tired as much. Yeah. So then we just had all the standard holiday stuff, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And that gets us to here, to January 2022.
Yeah.
And we have decided to, once again,
Hurt me.
try
YouTube.
try this this awesome adventure. What do you think?
But what?
Trying this adventure.
Well, big words trying.
Yeah. Well, no, we can't just try. We just have to do.
Well, do our best. Because, you never know.
And like we said in the video yesterday, we are going to
Try and do at least one video a week.
yeah, we're going to try and upload a video a week, and then try and do a live stream. So we'll probably try and do a live stream with the laptop. I'm not sure when we'll try that.
Yeah, how about we work on just videos and then we'll work up to streams?
Yeah,
We need
so
some more. We need to get some more followers and stuff.
we do. So speaking of more followers, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell.
And if you like the video,
So you know us cheerful people,
cheerful my butt.
when we go live or when we post a new video,
Yeah.
if you would give us a thumbs up, we would appreciate it greatly. Leave us comments. Let us know what you'd like to see.
What you don't like, so we can go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty open for different stuff. There's probably going to be some challenges in this mix. Different hot sauces I've gotten.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I think so. For today.
So now you know where we've been for 3 years. Sorry this video is so long, but It's been 3 years
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah.
with a lot of stuff. So,
So yeah. And it, like we was said in the last video, we are noobs.
we are noobs. I'm, like I said, I'm still learning how to edit. So, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
So until next time, see you later.
YouTube.
Bye.